I recently found out my older sister was hiding a big secret. You need to stick to the end because I'm telling you right now, this is one of the biggest secrets ever read on this channel. Let's get right to it. My older sister, let's call her Rose, and I have a great relationship since I was a baby. We were raised with an amazing adoptive family, and she's always taking care of me. I grew up in a very warm and loving environment, but from what I was told, I was lucky. I was told the story of how me and my sister had drug-addicted parents who never took care of us. They've never bothered feeding us and used to left us junky friends' houses for days to go out and party. When my mom was pregnant with me, she smoked and got drunk. Luckily, I turned out fine. Pretty often, and when I was born, my sister was the only one who took care of me. When I was 2 months old, they left us both in a mall and just left. We got help from an old couple who also turned into our adoptive family. We contacted the police, but my parents weren't at the house, which looked like a homeless cave. We never saw them again, and after several months in foster care, the couple that helped us, throughout the whole way by the way, agreed to adopt us. Today I'm 19 and Rose is 34. I still live with my adoptive family and she lives about 20 minutes away, so I come and visit her 3 times a week. So, a couple of months ago, my friends offered to take a DNA test to find some information about my heritage. Since my sister would not speak of them much, after the results came in, I found out some pretty interesting things. I found out later that I had an aunt in the system who's 33. I immediately reached out to her, let's call her Janet, and we agreed to meet in person. All that without telling Rose a thing. When we met up, I could see we have similar characteristics like same hair color and same eyes. We tried to figure things out, so I asked her if she has a brother or a sister, and she told me that when she was 13, her 14-year-old sister got pregnant while being drunk with her junkie boyfriend. And a month after giving birth, she ran away with a baby after some pretty intensive fights with their parents. They never found her and stopped looking after 2 years. I connected the dots, asked to see the picture of her. So we went to her parents' house. Mom was not home and father died 3 years ago. When I saw the picture, I knew this was Rose. It was Rose 100%. Rose is my mom. We were never abandoned. We did not have junky parents, and she fabricated the entire thing to me and our adoptive family. I immediately gave Janet a hug and told her that it's too much for me right now and asked her to keep it a secret for now. I went to my best friend's house, told him everything, and for a week now, I've been sleeping over at his place. I told my parents and my sister I'm at his house because he bought a new game that we both wanted for long and avoided talking to Rose much. I don't know. I can't look her in the eyes right now, let alone tell her I know the truth. What the hell am I supposed to do? How should I handle this? Should I tell her I know? What's up guys, Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're starting today's video off with an absolute banger. This story is crazy, but let me just tell you, there is a full update for this. Let's hop right into it now. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Here's your update. Okay, so first off, all I want to do is thank you for your honest replies. It really helped me get my feelings straight and get ready to confront her. So, after a week of avoiding, I came to her house with a picnic basket by surprise, so I'll have a chance to speak with her. She was happy to see me, and I told her to sit down because we needed to talk. I started things with saying that I know she has a secret that she's been hiding from me. Her face turned red, and she started crying like hell. She knew what I was talking about. I told her the story about the DNA test, about Janet, and basically what I told you guys in the last post. Well, after she calmed down a bit, she told me the truth. She told me how she got drunk at a party and slept with one of her jerk friends who does nothing but weed every day. He did not really care about a future kid and was like, "Oh, yeah man, whatever." Apparently, she found out that 10 years ago he was stabbed in prison after sitting on a drug deal, assault, and armed robbery. She told me how her mother used to convince her father to talk me out of the idea of keeping the baby. They would constantly fight with her, and when the baby was born, they told her on the spot that she brought some shame upon the family and they will not help raise the baby in any way. Meaning, she'll have to work, meanwhile, to have money for the baby, and sometimes for herself. After a couple months of loaning from her friends and juggling between working and taking care of me, she had a huge fight with her parents and told them that if they're not helping financially and barely in any sort of way, she and me are better off without them. As they sent her to her room, she escaped in the middle of the night, hitchhiked to a neighboring country, and by morning she was there. She tried to take care of me for a few days. She found an old abandoned house that used to have homeless people coming around every now and then, and she took me to the mall when I started crying. She started crying too. The couple that adopted us immediately came to our aid and asked if we lost our mother. Rose jumped on the opportunity and came up with a story and an alias. Police figured out that we're not in the system for multiple reasons. We were raised in foster care for a year and a half, until the couple that helped us decide to make the effort to adopt us, so we won't be separated. It took them a few months and a couple lawyers, but they managed to adopt us both. Rose knew all along that her parents were looking for her. They came to their senses after a day or so. She reached out to them and told them in a letter that she's fine, and is taking care of herself and me. She's not homeless and found a nice couple to help her with the baby. She made it clear for them that she's never coming back home, and they should stop looking. And a month after that, they stopped. A few years later, her father went on a quest to find her. She was after 18. Secretly. After so much time searching, he found her and apologized, and after a while she forgave him and kept secretly in touch with him. He met me a few times, and I knew him as one of Rose's old friends from the park. He helped us a few times, and apparently they would meet up once every 2 months secretly. Ironically, I'm glad I got to know him before he passed, even if I did not know who he really is. By the way, the adoptive family never found out about the whole thing. So after hearing this, I told her we missed a lot by not knowing she's my mother, and I told her I understood and she did do the right thing. I pulled out an "It's a boy" sign from the picnic basket and some snacks for a late baby shower, and we hugged for an hour or so, had a lot of fun, watched a movie, and I headed off to my parents' house, my adoptive ones, to have dinner with them. I'm glad she's my mother. I feel for the first time in years, complete. I don't care she lied because she did it for the greater good. And I honestly can't imagine my life right now if she didn't. Thanks guys for helping me getting my feelings straight and helping me out mentally to cope with everything that happened. I told you that secret was crazy. Let's read a similar situation comment and we'll go from there. I'm adopted, 35, and my mom still gets a little bit nervous whenever the topic of my birth family comes up. The laws changed recently in my country, and I would be able to find out who my birth parents are. Just to be clear, I've always known I'm adopted, but have no desire to search out my birth family. I have a great relationship with my parents and siblings and don't feel a need to search for anything more. I know in my heart that my mom would be supportive of me if I did want to, but also I think it might hurt her a bit. So guys, I'm wondering, how many people in this world have similar situations to this story? If you do, drop it down below because that was a wild roller coaster of a ride. There's one more story on today's video, and the title of this one is OPFU by getting his mom and his girlfriend's mom to think they hated each other while secretly dating. This story comes complete with updates. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, as it's one of the best ways to support me. And here's the final story. This is more of a we ducked up, but here's what happened over the past 8 months. So, my girlfriend's mom and my mom work together. They became close friends last year, and since they've been trying to get her daughter and I, 19 female and 19 male, together, they made a few attempts at getting us to meet, and it was annoying as F. All we kept hearing was how good we would be together. We never actually met each other until she was tricked into getting a job where I work. I'd seen pictures of her, but she looked even better in person. After getting to know each other over the next 4 months, we realized we had a lot in common. Problem is, we're both stubborn, and did not want to give them the satisfaction that they were right about us. So to repay them, we decided to pretend that we hated each other, while secretly dating. If the relationship lasted a year, then we would tell them. We made up a story about an argument we had one day, at work. After that, we would just randomly talk crap about each other to our moms, and then sit back and see what their reactions were. It was hilarious and made it easier for us to secretly date. But last week, we probably took the joke too far. My girlfriend was giving me some lines to say about her, and well, we decided on, I wouldn't be the first guy from work that she slept with. When I told my mom this one, she told my girlfriend's mom about it. It started an argument between two of them about how I treated her daughter horribly. Of course, my mom tried to defend me by saying she's heard all the insults my girlfriend said about me. 2 days ago, we were told that they're no longer friends. Well, we told them the truth about our relationship, but I guess it was too late because they said some pretty nasty stuff about each other. Now my girlfriend and I feel awful for breaking up a good friendship. We should have been more honest about our relationship from the start, especially with two people who would have been supportive of us. Update 7 days later. Hey everyone, the comments were harsh on my first post, but I can't say I did not deserve it. I liked the suggestions of tricking them into meeting or even a random musical number with strangers, as somebody suggested. But we just wanted to be straight up instead of doing something crazy again. So the past few days, my girlfriend and I have been trying to get our moms to talk to each other. They were against it at first, but eventually agreed to give it a try. Today, we all met up for lunch to talk things out. Basically, my girlfriend and I did our best to explain why we did what we did. We said there was a lot of pressure for two strangers to meet and date, and we felt as though they overstepped some boundaries. So, we decided to do that stupid joke of pretending we hated each other, so we did not have to hear the constant, "We told you so." We apologized for taking our joke too far and said that all we want is for them to be friends again. The mom said that the hardest part in all of this was finding out we were actually together after they had already fought. They finally got what they wanted but could not enjoy it. They also apologized for trying to interfere with our dating lives, but we told them that it wasn't necessary because it turned out to be a good thing. We all talked for a little while longer, and it went pretty well. They asked some questions about my girlfriend and I, and started joking around with us. It ended up being a lot less tense than it was at the start. Their friendship is not back to where it was yet, but I'm confident that it will. Could take some time, but I'm glad things are moving in a positive direction. I feel like we can now just enjoy ourselves and hope for the best. Alright guys, so weirdly, I felt like this was kind of a wholesome story. I want to read a comment that actually runs a little scenario. It says this: I was half expecting the moms to carry on their fight as a joke to prank the kids for revenge. That's when the second commenter lays out how the joke would play out. Moms start escalating the fight while out at lunch. The waiter attempts to intervene and amidst the chaos of the scuffle, rips his arm off. and OP and his girlfriend start screaming. The waiter turns to them and says, that's why you don't trick your moms into thinking you hate each other when you're secretly dating. Let me know what you think about that and drop your comments down below, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.